One of the best ways to grow your business is to sign on franchises. Let me show you how you can make it happen and get one client that will literally turn into hundreds of clients. My name is Gabriel Ryan, and I help entrepreneurs grow their businesses by installing and designing the single most important system in their business, the one that gets you leads and clients. Let's dive in. Would it surprise you to know that there are over 790,000 franchise businesses in the United States alone? And there's only 3,000 franchisors or companies or brands that operate those franchises. That means that every single franchise, that one company, has over 263 on average businesses under that franchise. 1 out of every 12 businesses is a franchise. But what does this mean for you? This means that you can go after a single client that would turn into, on average, over 260 clients. But I know what you might be thinking. When I say the word franchise, the first thing that comes to mind is probably something like Starbucks or Chick-fil-A or McDonald's. Those big brand retailers. That's not what I'm talking about here. Let me share how I discovered tapping into this incredibly profitable niche of franchise type businesses. You see, it was nearly a decade ago, and at the time, our agency was serving financial advisors and wealth managers. We would design websites and create motion graphics videos and help with marketing material for those kinds of service-based businesses. And what this company would do is publish their research and findings. They would interview experts on their podcasts and share that information for free, as well as on their weekly email newsletter. But there was a paid tier where those that wanted exclusive access to the research that this company was putting together to make their own investments with would pay for. And at the time, I did not realize that we had just stumbled into a gold mine, because this company was part of a bigger company. In fact, Choose Yourself Media was what they just called an imprint of a massive network of businesses and sister companies from a company called Agora Financial. And the head of that business, Choose Yourself Media, was a guy named James Altucher. Now, if you were online at all back in 2017, you probably saw James Altucher all over the place because he was talking about crypto during one of their first bull runs. He is this mad scientist looking character with crazy glasses and big hair that was talking about what was going to come with the crypto markets. And thanks to the fact that he had a really compelling offer and a compelling persona, we were able to put a lot of gasoline on the fire behind what he was promoting and talking about at the time. But what made working with James so compelling was the fact that he was tapped into this bigger company, Agora Financial, that had all of these other sister companies doing the exact same thing, but in different niches, in gold, in stocks, in options. And what we discovered is that someone that would subscribe to James's newsletter with Choose Yourself Media or listen to his podcast might also be interested or want to subscribe to some of these other sister companies as well. And because we did such a good job at generating leads and helping James and his company with their marketing, we caught the attention of all these other sister companies. And over the course of about 12 months, they all ended up becoming clients of ours as well. So this single client with Choose Yourself Media turned into dozens of clients with massive budget and really helped catapult our company from, at the time, about $3 million in revenue to north of $25 million a year in revenue, hitting the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies. And all because we had tapped into this idea that we could find one client that would turn into many clients. And the irony is that Agora isn't actually even technically a franchise business, but they operate under the franchise type model. In fact, they even call within their own company and network of companies, they call their different businesses different franchises. Because what Agora had figured out is a single model. They would put an expert, a talking head, who people could rally behind. They would love them or hate them, but you certainly couldn't be neutral behind this particular expert. Then they would have that individual publish their own research, their perspective on a specific part of the market, and then they would give some of that information away for free, charge high ticket to get exclusive access to everything behind the scenes, and they would just replicate this across multiple businesses with different personas. But here's the thing, and here's what I'm going to unpack in this video, is how you can tap into that exact same model, because there are literally thousands of franchises and franchise type businesses out there that if you get a single client can turn into many. Another benefit with this niche is that They have similar market share, so you can expand without that conflict of interest. In fact, with this business model, a rising tide lifts all boats. So when you start helping 1 or 2 or 3 or 20 or 30 locations, it actually helps boost all of the others. This is what we call getting leverage, getting more results, more output for the same amount of work, which makes you more valuable to the company as a whole. There's also a major credibility boost when you can tackle this kind of a deal. Because when you're talking to larger corporations and bigger business, they want to know that you can get results at scale. Going back to the Choose Yourself Media example in Agora Financial, these companies were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, every single month on their paid marketing, and they wanted to know that we could handle it. So it was great when we were able to do this with one publisher, but as soon as we were able to replicate those results across 2 and 3 and 4 publishers, we instantly earned their trust because there were so few agencies out there that were able to do that and get those kinds of results at scale. But all that we had done was really just gone all in with that first client, with Choose Yourself Media, to figure out how we could serve them, get them a result. We got that system really dialed in, and then we just took it to the rest of their franchises. An often overlooked benefit of working with these kinds of businesses is that you have 10x the data now as well too. So when you are testing your marketing, your systems, your service, whatever it is that you offer, you've got a larger sample size. So now you can test things in multiple markets to see how they work differently. And you can share that data with future clients, and you can use that in your marketing and sales process to land new clients. All right, so how can you land one of these deals that will turn into hundreds of deals because they're a franchise or a franchise type business? There's really 2 ways to go about it. And one of them is my favorite. The other one relies on luck and connections, and if you've got them, great. So we'll start with that one first, which is really going from the top down. Top down business development or sales really relies on building relationship. So if you have the connection, usually within your own network, or have the ability to go to events or mastermind with folks, really make those decisions at the corporate level. It's just a matter of making those relationships and adding value. What does that look like? Sharing ideas, offering your time and expertise and consulting, finding a way in to make genuine relationships. Not just because you're going to go after the deal. Yes, that's why you're there. Everybody knows that. But actually being interested in those folks at those higher levels. Again, this really relies on relationships, connections, sometimes a little bit of luck and timing. But hey, if you've got it, then use it. But my favorite way is actually from the bottom up. Bottom up business development and sales is exactly what we did with Choose Yourself Media. It's exactly what we did with the dog training company as well too. In fact, we've got another deal in the pipeline right now with a franchise that does real estate photography. I got connected with the entrepreneur that owns the rights and region for all of Middle Tennessee, which is where we live here in Nashville. And why I love this approach is because it allows me to understand at that runway level, the actual operators in these franchises. Go out and have conversation. Ask them the problems that they're dealing with, the goals that they have, how corporate helps them, and where maybe they are left out on their own. All I'm looking for is an in and an opportunity where there's a problem that I can clearly identify and solve. With the dog training company, it happened exactly the same. We actually have another client who has a dog trainer who introduced us to his dog trainer, and we were able to jump in and immediately see everything that was wrong with their website and where they were leaving money on the table. Me and my team put together a presentation. We shared all of the data with this local franchise owner. We started by showing a single entrepreneur how we could help him with his dog training business, and he wanted to share it with his friends. So we took it to his franchise working group, which essentially were the leaders in the company, the representatives between corporate and the individual franchise owners. We were able to show them how we could help each and every one of them get more leads and clients from the website. And while they didn't technically own the keys to make the decision to hire us, they certainly have sway with corporate. They made an introduction to the CEO. We made our presentation, won the deal, and the rest is history. And the reason why this bottoms-up approach works with franchises and businesses like that is because you're attacking the leverage point that is the closest for the growth for the entire company. And that's the sales that are made at the individual franchise level. Because if we can help a single operator make more money in their business, we can help a bunch of them do that, which makes money for corporate as a whole, which got their interest. How many of you have worked for a company, or maybe this has been you yourself, where you up at the top go away to an event or a mastermind and come away with some incredible idea that you bring back to your team and like, hey team, we're gonna go do this now. And how often does that turn out really well? Your team might be confused, your clients might be confused. What's going on here? Top down is tough. It's why you need to study leadership and learn how to influence people and really get them on board with not just their hands, with their hearts. The same thing is true in the sales process, where if you could start from the bottom up and really enlist the ranks of the folks that it's going to impact the most, then it's a lot easier to waver it from there. Now, here's the thing. I've tried it all. There's certainly things that you don't want to do when you're going after these types of businesses to grow your business. Immediately after we had landed the deal with Choose Yourself Media and that had turned into multiple other deals, I got really interested in going after and finding these kinds of businesses to see if we could replicate our success and do it again. And there was one particular prospect that was on my list, a business that I knew was spending a lot of money every single month on their marketing that we could really help. And if we did, would mean massive growth for the agency. But no matter what I tried, I could not get a hold of anybody on the inside. Now, here's the thing with sales and marketing, and especially this kind of account-based marketing. A lot of times it's a numbers game. I had tried everything that I could, filling out contact forms on websites, DMing through LinkedIn, and I felt like I had narrowed in on who was the correct person that I could go bottoms up with inside of that company. Now, this individual had put her personal email on her LinkedIn profile, which I thought was fair game. And so I reached out to her via her personal email after she had ghosted me through DMs over LinkedIn and Facebook. Let's just say she wasn't too thrilled. She had no idea how I had found her email, thought I had hacked into things, and I had to quickly step back and say, hey, look, here's the screenshot. You had put it up on your LinkedIn. And there was a whole ordeal where our CEO and president had to step in and kind of smooth things over. We never ended up actually landing the account, and maybe I was a little bit too aggressive. But here's the thing that I learned from that. You've got to earn permission first. No matter whether you're going top down or bottoms up, it's super important to earn the trust, make a genuine connection, and then get the permission to go ahead and pitch. When we had success with James's campaign, we took it to some of the other franchises and said, hey, would you be interested in learning what we've done over here for James? Because we think we could do it for you too. With the dog training franchise, we showed one franchise operator how we could help him with his business, which gave us permission to talk to some of the biggest leaders in that company, which eventually led us to the CEO and founder. In every single one of these scenarios, we started by giving our best stuff away first. Exactly how we could help them, the results that we would measure our success by, and a specific plan of action that we would use, and that if it worked, we could copy and paste and duplicate into all of their businesses. So whatever you do, don't skip the connection piece. Make sure you earn and ask for permission before you move things along. Lastly, I'll mention, it's really easy to kind of go after the ma and pa type businesses, the solo operators. At the same time, I personally love business. I love getting in and helping somebody grow their business. And it doesn't matter if they're a solo operator or have a team of 100, 200 plus. For me, business is my canvas. It is my art. And a mentor of mine put it perfectly when he said, I'm a lighthouse, not a tugboat. It can be really easy to go after the smaller, easier deals, the mom and pop shops, which yes, they need help too. And if you're one of those, hopefully you're getting a ton of value out of this that you can apply in your business. But the game of business is also about looking for points of leverage. How can you take your inputs, the same hours in the day that you have, that Richard Branson has, that Oprah has, that Taylor Swift has, that you and I have? How can we put in energy and work in that same amount of time and get a bigger output? That's what this video has been all about. And if you're looking for more ways to get leverage in your business, then you're going to want to subscribe to my newsletter. Just check the link in the description, because every single week I give away my best playbooks, my best tips and strategies, everything that's working for me and my clients right now. So go ahead and subscribe. Make sure to smash that like button. But if you want to be among the first to know exactly what is working and how we're crushing it, then go ahead and check the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.